What's up, guys? We're back. You saw that I was fixing my reels with the grips and stuff, and I started to try to fix a broken rod. So this is kind of a tip. It's actually more like a snapped rod, because a tip would be up here. Since this is a pretty lightweight rod, it goes out and flexes a lot on the end. It's a graphite rod. It's not a... I think it's a graphite rod. I'm pretty sure it's a graphite rod. I'm not going to look right now because I can't fully see it. But I started to repair it, and I couldn't. I could not find anything to keep it to hold right. So I started searching around on YouTube videos, and I found this thing that we're going to try together. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And it was basically called I'm going to find the exact name and put it in the title and the description. But it just encompasses a piece of old rod to kind of slip over and hold it steady and act as a sort of a new patch, kind of. And to do so, we are using actually this old Bassmaster IMZ. This thing is just junked. It's a Pinnacle brand, and I used this thing in some of my earlier videos. You can see it. This was my medium rod. The story behind this rod is actually kind of unique. I found this at a place that I frequently fish. It's on the channel, or I used to frequently fish. It's on the channel, and I found it with the handle here snapped, and it was a perfectly good rod. I was like, somebody must have lost their temper or accidentally broke it. Doesn't matter. I fixed the handle back, to a casting handle a little bit with some old cork and screws and tape and all sorts of other stuff. And I used this rod for a few years. It was, it was just something. I didn't have to pay for it. It was free. It worked great. It's not the best brand, and it was not the most exciting rod. It was a budget rod, but it was free. I found it and salvaged it. Now, during my move, it got broke again, and it got broke worse than the Fenwick here that we're going to be fixing. It was snapped. Basically, if you can see it, this is a cut end because I cut to use this, but it was only a little bit more than this. It took off way more than the tip. And if you can't, it's just, there was no point trying to salvage it again. I went to Bass Pro and I bought a $34 replacement, so it's cool. But for this, we're going to fix this rod tip. So I got off two chunks. I got off a slightly bigger one and a slightly tighter one. Now, there is a wider end and there is a smaller end. So obviously we're going to take and put our smaller end, double check, make sure, because it is a little hard to tell. Yeah, so this is going to be the smaller end, and we're going to put it in here, and fits down. Now we'll take our longer stretch of rod, and I wish you guys could see this a little better, but I'm not the best with these angles here. And make sure it fits up here, which it does. I like that. So what I'm going to do now is try to move this rod back so you guys can see this first. I have my table right here, so why am I doing this so difficultly? I can just put it across the table onto the other side. I don't know why. That was the last thing that came to mind. So we have it right there. But I have a little Maximum Bond Crazy Glue. I also have Fly Head Cement. And I think, honestly, the Crazy Glue is going to be the route to go with this. So I'm just going to take some of this Crazy Super Glue here and push it up. Make sure there's not a head left there. Might be some stuff left from the previous time using it. So it'll be a little hard to get through. Let me just cut the end here. There we go. Alright, now we're gonna grab some of this glue. Well, that didn't work either. Gosh. The whole tube must be just hardened up. Do we have movement now? Oh yeah, okay. Alright, now I accidentally put out a pretty big glob because I wasn't expecting. So we'll just move this around all over it here. And this stuff does harden pretty quick, so just be prepared with everything you have. not like me, who has completely lost the end of the rod. What we're gonna use, oh, here it is, okay. All right, now we're gonna slip this back on it. Oop, a little too far. There we go. And I'm gonna let that harden for a minute. And it hardens quick, so don't be alarmed. And we're also gonna fit it on this end right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply. That's settling right there. So what you can't see is I left a slight gap. I pushed it all the way down, felt where it was at, and then I pulled it back just a hair. And that's gonna increase your bendability in that rod tip again and keep it how it originally was, leaving that space like that. If you're not comfortable with it and you're afraid it's gonna fail, you could just push it back down. But everything that I watched was, they were pretty confident about leaving the gap. So we're gonna let that harden for just a minute, but the way I set it like this, I set it just so I could check out the eyelids and make sure everything's straight and everything looks perfect. Now, I'm gonna let that harden and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, guys, I am back. I let it dry and then I looked at it and everything was still good. Only thing I did different is I added a little bit of glue around the ends, if you can see that drying right there on the outside. Other than that, it was real tight and stuff. Just wanted to give you a little quick thing. I'm going to pop back in another second. I'm going to show you fully repaired, and you guys can make your decision from there if you think it's worth doing. Alright guys, that is our finished product. If the clip of me spooling the thread on there does not make it in, that is just some simple black uni thread that I have. This is purely cosmetic. This would hold without this, but it is a reinforcement. It's just like what they do right here for the eyelids. So whenever you're making a rod, if you've ever made your own fly rod or just regular fishing rod, whenever you fasten that eyelid down there, you do it with thread, and then they go over it with a cement or epoxy or something. I just used some of that hairline fly tying cement because it was just what I had, and you know what? This came out looking really good for, like, you know, a home remedied fix. It's by no means professional, but you know, if you don't want to pay for something like this to get fixed, you know, and you got a rod you like a lot. Now let's go ahead and test it. So I'm just going to bend right here, and I'm just bending the rod tip. This isn't the whole rod itself. Now I'm bending the whole rod. Nothing, not a crack, no itching, nothing. So that is a perfect fix. Awesome. So guys, that was the rod fix. Came out great. I'm going to put a reel on that, and next time we go out, hopefully maybe this Saturday, I'm not too sure, I'm going to bring it out and I'm going to use it on some spinners and stuff how I used to use it, and if it holds up then, will know that that is a solid fix for sure. But just messing with it, bending it, and testing it out in here, and feeling it, it feels great. It doesn't feel any different than it used to, and it functions just like it used to. So, thanks for watching. I hope this works for you guys. I hope you catch some big fish. So get out there and catch some.